Hi everyone, it is another Netherlands live stream, 8-0 win against Malta and another World Cup qualifier. Nice results. If you're watching live, do you leave us a comment in the live comments? We'll see your comment on screen, we'll bring them up. And if you're not watching live, leave us a comment down below as to what you thought of the game. Were you happy with this evening? I mean, can you complain as an 8-0 win?
Yeah, I think it's one of those ones that you expect to win 8-0 against this sort of opposition. I thought after they scored 3 times in the first 20 minutes, I thought it was going to be a record, maybe the 11-12s that we've seen before. But yeah, I think the first 20 minutes were really good. The next 25 of the first half was really poor, and then he picked up in the second half once there's a few changes. So yeah, you walk out there 8-0 winners. You can't really complain about the start that we've made. A tricky game against Finland taken care of, and then easy win against Malta, and yeah, you're off to the perfect start.
Yeah. Do you enjoy it, Abdul?
Yeah, it is the perfect start. We all demanded as fans 2 wins, many goals, and a clean sheet, and this is exactly what we got. 10 goals in 2 matches, 2 easy wins, comfortable wins. And the match against Finland ended in the first 20 minutes. The same thing today. The match against Malta was over pretty much in the first 20 minutes as well. Yeah. We made the second fastest 3-0 ever, actually. The first time was against Andorra, I think, in 2011. This is like the second fastest 3-0. We made it after 19 minutes only. So 2 wins, many goals, a clean sheet. We got some cool things also. Van de Ven scoring his own his first goal. I think he should be man of the match for Oranje. He was excellent, really. And Memphis, of course, he equalized with Van Persie. He scored 50 goals now. The all-time top scorer for Oranje now, Van Persie and Memphis Depay. I noticed that the players were helping Depay to score, actually, in the beginning of the match, and it did work. His second goal was really nice, by the way. One last thing I have to mention, Simons' goal reminded me of Van Basten's goal against Germany in '88, if you guys remember it. It's pretty much the same. When I saw it, that goal just came through my mind, you know. We played, of course, we subbed 4 players. We changed 4 players from the match against Finland. We had Van de Ven, Simons, Kluivert. Forgot who the 4th name was.
Van de
Ven, Kluivert, Simons. Who was the 4th one?
It was Kluivert, Simons, Van de Ven, and...
So about subs, because Geertruida came on.
No. The starting 11.
The starting
11. It was De Vrij.
Yeah, Steven De Vrij. So we played, we started with 4 different players. One thing I need to mention here, we were much more dangerous when Simons was moved from the right back, and we put when Malin played there, we were much more dangerous, and that reminds us of what we always say, you know, that Simons should not really play as a right winger. He's not good in that position. That's all I can say about the match. Yeah,
I had notes prepared for this. I did get to that point as well. I need to write these things down that I was thinking. Someone did ask. I would like to bring people's comments up, so keep them coming in. We will. Can someone summarize? I missed this, but I think just a quick summary. Just got the Football-Oranje article up that Mike wrote of the match, of some of the quick things. So yeah, quick start was it within 20 minutes. Memphis quickly scoring with 2 goals and equaling the record this evening of Robin van Persie. So big up Memphis Depay. Although I have a feeling if I look in the comments in a minute, we still might be slating him. The guy's a record goal scorer for the Netherlands. We can't keep picking up on him this much. But I get that there is no better option at the moment for the Netherlands going into a World Cup. That will be great to talk about a bit later. Once we've enjoyed this 8-0 win, what that strike situation looks like again. But yeah, Van Dijk scoring back at home at Groningen, making it 3. And then we had several other chances. It kind of died down a little bit, didn't it? But I found that in amongst all the other goals that came towards the end, those last 5, Daniel Marlon coming on, brilliant impact off the bench. Like Malta are a poor team, we know that, but they were really trying to get forward in attacks, and Marlon did make the most of that room in behind the defence, scoring 2 goals and getting an assist within 8 minutes. Really impressive from him. I look forward to seeing what he can do for Villa next season. And my random thing I picked up was, do you feel like because it was Malta, the ref didn't really give many penalties? He gave perhaps a softish one for the first one, but there were like 2 others I thought later in the game where if it were like Germany and they did the same thing, I think it would have been a penalty. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, the first penalty was questionable, actually. I thought it was a soft penalty. But, I mean, the match was over from the beginning. You know, we knew we were going to score at any time. And I believe there is a more deserved penalty for Memphis Depay, actually. When he was pulled by the defender, he even protested for that, but the referee did not listen to him. Yeah. And one more thing, sorry, about the 8-0. I know Malta's not a strong team, but they don't really lose 8-0 a lot, you know. The last time we defeated them 8-0 was in 1992 qualifier, so it's been a while.
Yeah. I think in terms of the first penalty, I think there's different angles of it. So when you looked at it from behind, it does look like he's about to shoot, and then the defender comes in and takes his leg away. When you see it in front, it looks like Cliver's just kicked the ground and then jumped up in the air. I thought as soon as he went to the monitor that it was going to be reversed, but he kept his decision, and that's good. I think in terms of Memphis, his second goal was excellent. That finish was brilliant. I was kind of surprised to see him taken off. I think this would have been the perfect opportunity for him to break the record, and then you can kind of start to say he's done it. That's him. He's number 1. Now I think that Koeman is going to keep playing him until he does break the record. And that is going to happen in this qualifying campaign. It's going to, because, as I said, options right now are low. But I thought, you saw the difference between him and Weghorst. I thought Weghorst was pretty poor when he came on. I thought he didn't really add much to the side. Whereas I think Malin was excellent. And then he sort of showed that he's not a starting striker, but with an impact off the bench with his pace, I think he can be a big asset. So maybe like the last 15, 20 minutes coming on through the middle when the games are stretched, he does add something, and he took his 2 goals well, got an assist. So 2 goals and assist in 8 minutes, you can't really knock that. And I thought that Van de Ven's goal at the end was excellent and really capped off a really, really good performance from him. I think we need to stop seeing Nathan Ake playing a left back when you've got Van de Ven there that can do that. And I think the big question is who plays right wing, because I don't think Xavi Simons really did himself favours on the right wing. Again, it looks a bit disjointed. I even thought Dumfries had a poor game by his standards at times. So I think the right-hand side is still something that needs work, whereas the left-hand side, I think with Gakpo and Van de Ven looked really strong.
Yeah. I think Frimpong is the best option we have as a right winger now. I think he should continue playing in that position. He is always a threat when he is a right winger.
Yeah, when he's feeling brave and direct, there are times when he hasn't been as unleashed, if you like, either because of his own confidence or tactics-wise. But when Frimpong is allowed to just go for it and he has that bravery to do it, yeah, he's the best option out there, isn't he?
The match between Finland and Poland is resumed, by the way. It's the 87th minute now. It's still 2-1 for Finland, but I think the ref will put will add 10 or 15 minutes as an added time. So we will see how it's going to go.
Yeah, maybe by the time we finish, we'll know what the score was. That's really good result for the Netherlands, isn't it? That Poland losing that game. Finland don't look like a team that can realistically challenge Netherlands for top spot in that group, having seen them perform against the Dutch. Poland are that threatening team. I guess it's a case of how long will Lewandowski not be in that squad and how long will the Poland manager be there, because when that situation changes, then maybe do Poland become a threat again, but we'll have to see. Even a draw this evening wouldn't be a bad result.
Yeah, well, if Poland doesn't win, and we beat them in September. It's going to be our first match in September. We will play in Holland, so the group will pretty much be sealed. The difference will be 5 points, and I think it will be over. It will be a matter of time to qualify. So things are been going great with Oranje. I'm really happy for that. Yeah.
Just a little bit of housekeeping before we carry on and get some comments up. If you're watching live right now, do give us a like and show that you're enjoying the shows. And we did already say that we're back for the under-21s games. Maybe not all of them in the groups, but as the tournament progresses, I think we'll come back and do some under-21 stuff. I hope you guys can join us for that too after a couple of the games later in the competition. And if you're new here, subscribe, Dutch Football in English language. And if you are a devoted Football-Oranje fan and you want to support us, we still do have Football-Oranje scarves. We had a couple more orders after the last stream. Here they are, still here. You can see them on display in the background, and we deliver anywhere in the world if you want to get yourself one. Links in the YouTube description. So anyway, I have some comments here then. And as usual, like Abdul, it'd be great to get your thoughts on these. What about... Oh, not this one. Although also Nicholas did agree with the Van der Ven shout for man of the match. And yeah, Chris, I'd agree. Shane Depay didn't get one more. It would have been nice to get better record tonight. It'd be nice to have a little bit of celebration of Memphis this evening. The record is equalled. He did it the same number of games as Van Persie. Like, it's good going, isn't it? And was it 102 games, 50 goals? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's a couple of assists away from being the leading assister as well. So
wow, I mean, come on. Van Persie hardly had like harder fixtures, really. They both had the same. I did read something that Memphis scored more penalties, but Memphis has also scored more games against the bigger teams.
And I think Memphis played more matches because the days of Van Persie, we did not have the UEFA Nations League,
Yeah, and then you think, well, the Nations League was that, yeah.
And Van Persie also had tougher competition in the fact that you had Huntelaar there, and
fair enough.
Van Nistelrooy was still around when he was breaking into the scene, so wasn't always playing as a striker. But yeah, I think you can't knock Memphis for what he's done. I think that he's been an excellent striker for the Netherlands, and yeah, we do want to find someone by the time that the World Cup comes around. But right now, he is the best option. He's still doing it. He does frustrate at times, but when you call upon him, he scores the goals. And yes, you can't really, if he comes around, ends his career as the Netherlands top goal scorer, I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, we just have to wait also until the new season starts. I still believe that we can produce at least one good striker instead of Memphis. We mentioned many names in the previous stream, so we will be looking to that. Hopefully we will find a good striker.
Yeah, perhaps later in the show we can ask Mike what he thinks about it as well. In the live stream after the last game, we did talk about striker options. Let's dig into some more of these. Abdul earlier said about that goal of Van Basten, and this guy did not agree with you.
And I know.
But this guy did.
Van Basten was even the Dutch commentator. Yeah. Well, Van Basten goal was more difficult indeed, but it has the same touch. I could say that because even the commentator said the same thing. Yeah.
We had a call here for. Did anyone have 8-0 in the last game? We can go back and check the evidence, but there was a good shout apparently that called 8-0 after the last game.
Sorry to interrupt. The last high score we had was against Andorra 11-0 in 2000.
San Marino, wasn't it?
Was it San Marino or I think it was Andorra, wasn't it?
Van Persie scored quite a number of goals in that game, didn't he? At least a hat-trick.
When it ended 11-0, was it Andorra or San Marino? I think it was Andorra.
I'm Googling it right now.
I think it's San Marino.
I think it was San Marino.
I think.
Wow. Are you checking the...
Yeah, it was San Marino.
Wow. I am getting old then.
Now, your memory of the Netherlands games is very, very, very good.
Yeah.
And Percy scored 4 goals. Huntelaar scored 2 in that game.
Yeah. San Marino, yeah. Some guy also is correcting. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
So, bit about Marlon. People like to dump on Marlon, but look at the skill for both of his goals. Super sub, absolutely John C is ready to start every week elsewhere. Darryl saying, well, it'd be a big player for Villa next season. Yeah, I think so too. I don't know if he'll start loads and loads of games, but someone that can be a big impact off the bench. Leon Bailey's probably going to leave Villa in the summer, so he'll be the top right winger there, first or second
He
choice.
needs to be a starter or plays more minute at least for Villa, yeah. He did not play much last season.
LK says that Marlon off the bench with Frimpong being the first choice would be a good way to go. And back to Depay, he's below his prime, but we have no other choice. And in terms of other comments, what about this one from Nicholas? I know we say it all the time, but I never get sick of watching Frankie flirting in front of the back four and gliding around silky fast. What about a run forward as well towards the end of the game? I forgot who we set up, but I did like that. Yeah. He was really good again, wasn't he?
Frankie is very important for Oranje. He's irreplaceable. We cannot replace him with any other players, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the
comments in everyone.
The problem is that Koeman still can't decide who plays alongside him because Ravenberg, I think, from these two games again, failed to impress and failed to nail down that spot. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see when you come up against tougher nations, let's say, who he picks, because I think Kluivert impressed today at the 10. So you can't really drop him, would you say? And you put Reinders back next to De Jong. I think that works better than having Ravenberg there and both of them trying to do the same thing.
That midfield is an interesting one. It depends who you're playing, doesn't it? What are your thoughts on it, Mike? Do you think that there's a future of De Jong, Ravenberg and Reinders? Because they're your three best midfielders, aren't they? But you didn't want to start Reinders there against Malta tonight. But against those bigger teams, doesn't it make more sense? Or are they too similar? That was one of the gripes. Are they too similar and Reinders should be as an 8?
Yeah, I think they are too similar. Unless, Ravenberg changes his game, they are very similar. I think Reinders is an 8. Putting like Kluivert or Simmons as a 10. I think he's trying to shoehorn Simmons in on the right wing. I think he is more impactful as a 10. So you got Simmons and Kluivert's that position, and then you've got Reinders and De Jong next to each other. I think that works better. And obviously next season, I think there's a couple more midfielders that will come into it. I think we can look forward to seeing what Stein can do. I'm really, really excited about Valente as well. I think he's going to be incredible for the Netherlands if they can keep him away from Italy. If it's Feyenoord that signs him instead of a club from Italy. So yeah,
that's potentially 4 midfielders at Feyenoord, isn't it? That could be international players.
And Malambo, yeah, if he doesn't join Brentford.
Malambo and Timber, yeah.
Yeah.
I think we will completely forget about Veerman now.
Yeah, you're probably right.
But I don't know about Schouten, really. Since he's been back from the injury, he did not perform as good as before. I don't know if he can get back to his old level.
I think you're realising there again the depth of quality we have at centre-back, defenders, midfielders. Yodi Schouten, with that last tournament performance, I would ever want to drop him from the international squad. He was probably our player of a tournament, wasn't he?
Yes. In the Euros, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah, but you see that like tournament players, like Andreas Noppert can look great in the tournament, and then look what happens after that. So yeah, it's always difficult to maintain your form. I think tournaments are difficult. There's always players that stand out. If you remember the great Senegal team that everyone went and ran and signed all the players from, and none of them really achieved anything after that. So yeah, you need to be careful with tournaments. I think Schouten had one really good tournament, but since then he's not really done anything for PSV. And that's probably why he's still going to stay at PSV this summer, because I think he's sort of missed the boat on that big transfer.
Yeah, agreed. As good as he is, he's had an injury hit season. Schouten, I'd really like to see him back. And then you add on to that turncoat miners. Like, wow, look at the options. What if we had this as a striker? Imagine we had like 5 brilliant strikers like this. We're getting thinking, goodness me. Some more comments. Alexander, great game. Why did Frimpong not play today? Giving Dumfries instead, he says. So Frimpong get it right back. Don't think Koeman sees Frimpong really as a right back anymore. Tonight it would have made sense, really, but I don't think that's going to happen. And yet Liverpool have signed Frimpong to replace Alexander-Arnold. I did go on record in a Liverpool podcast and said I don't think Frimpong's there to play right back. I think he's there to play both right back and right midfield. And playing right back for Liverpool in games you're going to dominate is very different. And as the formations question, I think is a 5 at the back still a conversation?
We used to call for a 5-3-2 because we had a bad team at that time. We had bad attackers. The midfield, we did not really have many good midfielders. But now we have pretty much the perfect team. We have world-class players in every position except for the striker. So I think we should continue with 4-3-3. With Dumfries and Van de Ven, the team can be lethal, really. They can cause trouble to any opponent. So I'm with continuing with the 4-3-3.
Yeah, I totally agree. 4-3-3 is the way forward. He's shown that it can work against teams like Spain. So why change it now? There's the players now to make it work. Van Gaal always said he didn't have any wingers, but there's options now. And yeah, I think that right now it's the best formation. We're still waiting for a top striker and maybe a top winger. I think Gakpo really is the world class one. We're still looking for Frimpong if he can play there consistently for Liverpool. We'll wait and see if he does that. I can't see him playing right wing just because of the options that they have up front. He's going to play as a sort of right wing back. See how he does there because I think that Liverpool fans will quickly realise that he's not the best defensively. So yeah, that's the one thing that they always said about Trent as well, that he wasn't great defensively. So they sort of went out and got a similar player. But yeah, I think that we need to find a really, really, really top right winger. You can challenge Frimpong and then that striker, and then you look at the side and it looks complete. Like everywhere from goalkeeper with Verbruggen, the back four looks excellent. You've even got options coming through. Sam Bukema right now is getting linked to a move to Napoli for 40 million. So as soon as he starts for them, he'll be in the national team as well. And then you look at phasing out, say, De Vrij. And then you've still got players like De Ligt, Timber, Hato to come in. The options at centre back and centre mid right now are insane, and you just need to hope that the attack starts to sell out eventually.
Yeah, ridiculous options. We've had some more comments come in.
Some good news. Finland have won. Finland's finished.
Won.
Finland won 2-1. That's it done.
It's over, huh?
Yeah, it's finished.
Yeah.
Wee.
Excellent. So, so now all the pressure is gone. There is no pressure at all. We can lead the group easily, and we can even finish the group maybe before the last two matches, maybe if we beat also Poland, in Holland. So I think, it's the group is pretty much done. That's very good news.
Any others then come in? How about Max Meerdink again mentioned? I'm going to talk about the striker options, and I think now, with all these things coming in, what do you think about Max Meerdink? Is he the answer, Mike?
He can be. The form he showed for AZ was very promising towards the end of the season. I think that for me, he goes into the new season as number one striker at AZ. I think they'd be pretty happy to sell Parrott now and raise some funds from that because they've got Meerdink now. I think that as long as he's at AZ, unless he's scoring consistently every week, I think Koeman won't select him. I think Koeman has a very, very big bias against teams that aren't top clubs in his name. It's why, say, I mentioned Marion Bukema, one of the defenders of the season in Serie A, can't get a call-up because he plays for Bologna. As soon as he goes to Napoli, he'll be in there. If Sam Stein starts performing well, as he has done for 20 at Feyenoord, he'll be straight in. And it's the same with Meerdink. I think that unless he does Vincent Janssen numbers and scores 30 goals next season, I think Koeman will still try and find an excuse to say that Wout Weghorst is a better option, even though we know he isn't. I think the other one is Omega. I think that he to me is a great option to have, maybe off the bench, because Omega's strength is really on the counter, getting in behind defences like Mallon's is. So yeah, if you're playing against the top sides, leave a bit of room in the back. I think Omega comes alive. So yeah, I think that's two really, really good options for Netherlands. But we need Koeman to open his eyes a little and start selecting players based on form rather than the club they play for.
Can Peru and Fleming do anything special this coming season in the Premier League, and they might impress? What do you think, Mike or Michael, since you both follow the Premier League more than I do?
I think it's difficult. I think it's very, very difficult for Fleming. I think he's more of a... He always came through as a midfielder, didn't he? And then he's sort of attacking midfielder, sort of striker. But yeah, Burnley, I think, will have a tough season. And it's going to be difficult for Fleming really to impress enough to get a call up. It's the same for Perot. I think that Leeds might struggle unless he sign a few players. And yeah, you can be a decent player in the Championship, but if you're not scoring 10, 15 goals next season, then Koeman's not going to look at him. So, yeah, I think it's going to be difficult for both to come into reckoning. I think that right now, the Perot role is kind of Veghorst. And if he wants another, tough, powerful striker, he's going to go for Brobbey if he sorts himself out. I think the two sort of wild card options are Meerdink and Omega for me right now.
To be honest, I lost hope for Brobbey. He's been given so many chances with Oranje and with Ajax. He scores a goal or two and then he disappears for 5 or 6 matches. He makes many mistakes, wastes many chances. I don't really think Koeman should look at him anymore. Koeman himself said that, he himself said that Brobbey, I don't know what he said exactly, but something like he is not good enough for to play for Oranje. Not to mention, of course, we also have Stein. He's gonna play for Feyenoord. Maybe also he'll be impressive, and he will give Koeman another choice for the midfield. So the midfield is gonna be very crowded with the stars, and that's very good news for all of us, actually.
One thing that I think is that if you look at the attack, and if Frimpong's not there, one thing it definitely lacks is lightning pace. I think that you need someone to offer some pace up front. I think Gakpo is as good as he has been. He's not lightning quick on the left. He's more cut inside, take a man on and shoot. Whereas you need somebody that's going to race in behind. Malin showed that tonight. If you have a bit of pace through the middle, you can do damage. I think Omega is the one that is lightning quick and getting behind. He would offer something quick there. In terms of speed, I think he's the one that I'd look at to offer something more off the bench if you're looking at someone for the future.
Yeah. About Peru, if Koeman is willing to give Brobbey a chance where he did not impress at all in the Eredivisie, maybe he should give a chance for a player who plays in the Premier League, which is a lot stronger, because we really have a problem with. I don't think Memphis can play against big teams. I saw him tonight. He was slow at some points. The ball he was intercepted in many occasions in the match. So I don't think it's a good idea for Koeman to take him to the World Cup. I think you all agree with me on that. Maybe as a sub, but not as a starter.
Yeah, on the Peru topic, I think he's the one that has the most potential out of him and like Fleming, for example. But I don't think either of them have that quality enough to, even though we're struggling for options, I don't think that's going to suddenly change. But a year in football's a long time, so anything could change, really.
Okay. And about the Frimpong, I think even if he plays as a right back in Liverpool, he can still impress as a winger. He has so much skills. I think we will always need him as a winger, especially at the moment where we don't really have any right wingers beside him. I don't think Kluivert can play there. We've seen how Xavi plays as a right winger. So definitely Frimpong is the answer. We saw how he played against Spain. We saw how he played against Finland. He was always dangerous. So we need him there in that position.
Yeah, I agree. Until a better option shows himself that's an out-and-out right winger, I think Frimpong is the best option for his pace. I think we just need to see the partnership with Dumfries again and see how it can work against tougher nations. Like Poland is a step up. Yeah, they've lost tonight. we'll see what happens with their manager, if they make any changes and they get some of the better players back. But against Poland, I'd be interested to see the Frimpong Dumfries axis to see if it works better. It's a shame that we're not going to really come up against any really, really strong nations for a while, because we kind of want to test ourselves against the best. So we'll see what happens. I think that in the next year, I've got hopes that some players will emerge. I think that you look at the under-21 squad, I think there is 3 or 4 of them over the next year coming into the reckoning. There's a few in the under-19 squad as well. I think that the future is bright in terms of some of the talents that are coming through. Maybe not straight away. I think that this squad is pretty much going to be the squad in September, give or take maybe like a Timber, and a Cook Miners. You might see Weaver drop out, DeVry drop out maybe. But yeah, I think the attack pretty much will be the same come September, because I don't think Koeman will differ much, because they seem to have a set group. So yeah, but I think that given the time that the World Cup comes around and starts, I think we could see 2 or 3 really good options for the attacking roles.
Koeman will have also a good test, a good place to start different names in the UEFA Nations League group stage, which is going to be in March, since all the matches in the qualifiers are kind of easy. In the group stage of the Nations League, I'm sure he will have tougher opponents. So he can try some new players if you want, since we will all be looking for the World Cup, which is going to be only a couple of months after the Nations League group stage.
Okay. We are getting a bit late, I think, in all our respective countries here. So we'll wrap up in a minute. Thanks everyone for your comments throughout this evening, and drop us one down below if you're not watching live. Love to hear from you all. Just some comments really about options and players and all of this. Poor Brian Brobby is just going to fall off the face of the Netherlands squad, isn't he? Tell you what, should we finish with this comment that's just come up here about the 21s? So who are the players that we should be watching out for then in this squad? So as a bit of a tie it over, next time we will do a live stream, next time we'll be over on the YouTube channel, will be about the 21s. Mike, who should we be looking out for?
I think it's a shame because Omega and Meerdink aren't there. Omega injury, Meerdink politics from Reisiger. So the ones that the best options going from back to front. Goalkeeper is going to be Robin Royce, linked to Ajax. Also Duro's injured, so he's dropped out. At the back, you've got Maatsen. He's there. Hato's there. Wouter Goos is there. 3 great defenders that have a big future in the Netherlands. Then you have Rensch, who we all know from his time at Ajax, now at Roma, and then you've got Salah Adin as well, who's now at Roma. So you've got great options across the back. In midfield, Milambo, Kenneth Taylor. You could have said that they're options for Netherlands probably next season. And then the one that I'm the most excited for is Valente. A late addition to the squad. He should have been in there from the start, but he was a late addition because of injuries. But he's going somewhere. He's top tier, I think. And up front, I can't say the striker options are one to watch because it's Noah Ohio and Tom van Bergen, who's decent. The wingers, Ruben van Bommel. He's had a poor season for injuries, but he's still got something. Then the right wingers, you've got Million Manhoff, who is a decent player for Stoke in the Championship. So yeah, that's a few of them to watch. I'm excited. I think that Netherlands have a really good chance to get out of the group. They won easily against Ivory Coast in midweek in a friendly match before this. So yeah, I think that they've got a good group. They've got a good manager. They have only lost once since Reisiger took charge, and that was in a friendly. So yeah, I think that we've got some very, very good options there. So it's exciting. I think that the tournament starts for Netherlands on Thursday. They start against Finland away. So yeah, it's going to be a good tournament. I think it's one. If they get out of the group, they've got a tough looking, quarterfinal to come, but got to get there first. So yeah, it's good to see this crop of youngsters. We've obviously got Netherlands under 19 starting as well. But then you've got Tygo Land at PSV, Keith Smith of AZ. So those two players just to look out for there. So yeah, it's always exciting for these youth tournaments to come around, and I think Netherlands have a good chance going far.
Yeah, I hope so. Yes, the group is not really difficult as we talked before the stream, so we should qualify. The other groups look a lot stronger than ours.
Yeah. Another comment that came in was about Ludovic Rees, who's just been promoted to the Bundesliga with Hamburg. Came through Groningen, went to Barcelona, then went to Hamburg. Been constantly in Bundesliga too. Sadly, it looks like he's going to Club Brugge. It looks like they're going to sign him. So yeah, we won't see him in the Bundesliga next year. It looks like he's going to Club Brugge, and I think that unless he has an absolutely incredible season, I don't see him getting called up.
And Wilson, you're sending so many names of players right now. It's like Matasiwa, like this. These are kind of guys that have been on the periphery like a little while ago. I just think with the quality of player we have now, like these players aren't quite on our radar as much. But Piers Hurd, I don't know if he was a little closer at one point. I don't know. I've not watched his career close since he left the Netherlands.
Yeah, there was one point where he was getting touted to be in the squad, and then I think he's been injured for quite a while. I think his sort of place has now been taken by Bukema. I'd say if there's one centre back that's going to come in, it's going to be him.
All right then. Before we go, just thank yous to everyone for watching, and we've seen your comments. We can see them. We can see your lovely words. Thank you so much for that. Thank you all of you for wanting to just listen to us. Really. Our mouse downstairs just before we finish. 8-0 puts us in a great mood, right? We have some exciting players, and that gives us many options. Also from Memphis, thank you. Yes, thank you, Memphis. Is there time to squeeze this in? Is there time? I don't know if this is a whole show in itself, but I feel like this is just like going to hand over to Mike, really. Like, Football-Oranje, when did it start?
It started as a Twitter page after the disaster that was Euro 2012. I grew up, my family was from the Netherlands, I've always supported Netherlands, and in 2012 I was getting into some football writing. I was actually writing about Malaga for a Spanish football website, but my passion's always been Netherlands and Newcastle, so I was like, I can do this about Netherlands. Started a Twitter page just to basically rant about how bad Euro 2012 was. And then, it just grew from there. And then the website came along. Then the podcast with Michael came along. And then Abdul joined as well when he came on as a guest 1 week. And then he's just stayed ever since. He's now part of the team.
Yeah. Been a fan since 88. A diehard fan since 1990.
My story's not quite as long or impressive. I just love watching the league, and then fell in love with the national team as well. It was like 11 years ago for me that I tapped at Mike and was like, "Can I help do some articles?" 18-year-old wants to write.
Yeah, we've seen some good stuff from the Netherlands. We've seen some absolutely shocking Danny Blind years, and
mostly bad, right?
Yeah, I mean, we've stuck through it thick and thin for the bad years. It's starting to look good again, even though it is Ronald Koeman as coach. It's starting to look like we have some world class players again. So it's hopefully turned a corner, and then hopefully we'll be doing this when we actually win a trophy, because that'll be the next big thing. I finally saw Newcastle win something this year, so it's Netherlands next. It's got to be, surely.
I said next, isn't it?
I said it before. Waited 37 years to win something. I haven't won anything yet. I don't mind waiting another 37 years. As simple as that. That's how much I love Holland.
Oh, thanks, guys. Thanks, everyone, again. We can see you guys' comments. Thank you very much. And one last shout out to give us a like on this video. Subscribe to Football-Oranje YouTube channel if you haven't already. Check out anything else on Football-Oranje, the website, and X, it's all there. And if you would like to get yourself a scarf, get yourself a scarf as well. The proceeds of that obviously go towards what we can achieve with the podcast and things like that. So already it's helped pay off the StreamYard subscription for the year. So thank you very much, anyone that's bought one already. That happens to be you. And if you haven't got one yet, any of the proceeds go towards extra things, really. We would love to do some extra content as well. I mean, for example, we know that in 3 years' time, there is a Euros competition in the United Kingdom. Like, 2 of us are based in the United Kingdom. We would love to do some things around that. We've been able to get some media accreditation for the Netherlands before, and us being able to commit to those kinds of things might just get us in for a big, big tournament. If the Netherlands can obviously qualify for it, it'd be a real kick in the teeth if we didn't. Yeah. So they're quite good, Dutch KNVB. They're quite strict, but you never know. Might get some extra stuff for them in the future. Anyway, yes, right. Let's end this here. We've been coming for a long time. Hope everyone enjoys this evening. 8-0 win. And it feels the end of the season, but no, we'll be back. We'll keep crawling on, and we'll do some 21 stuff. Don't know exactly what yet. So keep your eyes peeled. But see everyone.